Hello, and welcome back to the Mobius Archives. This is your host, Mobius Rex, and we are playing Kerbal Space Program. Let's begin. Alright. So, when last we were here, we had left poor Bob Kerman in his capsule in space. Now he's a bit freaked out about it, but otherwise fine. We just rotate this. Woo! We can turn our SAS off. Conserve some of our electric charge. But at this point we have no maneuvering thrusters or anything that can really get him back to Kerman. So, what we need to do... Abort? No. We will go back to... How do I do that? Oh, good question. We return to the Space Center. And we will create a new mission. Now, we don't have any science to... or enough science to advance with any of our more necessary parts. Like, we might need some more survivability. Another parachute would be nice. Or stronger engines. Or other stuff. Like some general construction, like stability enhancers, which would be great so we don't fall off the launch pad. However, we don't have enough science to develop any of these at the moment. So what we need to do before we mount a rescue mission, we need more science. So, we are going to try to get to orbit and back. I know, crazy thought. Doing our same, building our launcher, and we're going to start off with making sure that we have a parachute on there. We want to make sure we go up and down fully intact. Science. Science, we need to have at least a little bit of this. So I'm going to try to get 3 of these canisters on here. And we'll put them on like that. No. No, that doesn't even look good to me. Let's see if we can do this. We're just going to mount them here. Because, okay, why I'm using the science canisters is that they get us the most science for our buck. I'm trying to leave the door unobscured. Just so we can get Kerbals in and out. And... yeah, that looks good. 4. Hopefully this didn't destroy the parachute. Let's move that one down a bit. Make sure the parachute is all nice and clear. Oh, and I just lost that one. Come on, reattach. Reattach. Good. Good enough. So we're going to try to get this to orbit and back with Kerbal not inside. We won't worry about using Communicatron on this stage. We might use it on a stage below. This is going to have a decoupler. And let's see. I want to give this one a little fuel tank. And how... total mass 1.25. Total mass 1. I think this is the engine I want. So this is going to be our deorbiting stage. So this we want to get back on the ground. I'll toss on a Communicatron on there. Just one. So hopefully this entire part gets on the ground. It might not, but we will see. Now what else? Well, we'll need to, from this stage, we will need to, where is it? Decouple. Decouple from the stage below, which is going to be another liquid fuel stage. This one is going to be using our larger fuel tanks. That's 90, that's 180. I believe these are the largest liquid fuel tanks we have. We're going to be using 3 of these. Alright, and this one, I'm looking for the max power, 215, 200. So we want this. It doesn't give us as much control, but for this stage, I'm pretty much just wanting it to get us into space. Or get us into orbit, rather. Now, the big boosters. Oh, I have Separatrons. I didn't even realize that. So these have a max power of 315. Large, solid fuel engines. So what I am going to want to do, structural, touch that, and move this up even farther. This is going to be a monstrous thing. We'll see if it even gets off the launch pad. Come on. There you go. Alright, so we have that. I want structural component. And we discovered last time that if we separate the solid fuel boosters, center mass is up there. If we separate the solid fuel boosters from each other, they will nicely not overheat, and so we'll be able to make them usable as launch components. Alright, this thing is getting a bit tall. I think that's good. No. Gonna crush that little Kerbal scientist in the way down there. Turn this... Where's our center of thrust? Right there. Center of mass off. Center of list is from the bottom. Yeah, you got that right. And we want 4 more of these. Attached to there. So they all look like they're almost together. Alright, so what'll happen first? These 5 will fire. We'll decouple. This middle stage will fire. We'll decouple. This we'll use to either get us into orbit or get us back on the ground. It'll decouple and we will land. Alright. What shall we call this? We'll call this Orbit or Bang. Mark 1, because everything's Mark 1, right? Save that. Who can we use for a crew? Now, we've got a new Kerbal. Neilbin Kerman. He has great courage, but he's not very stupid. Yeah, let's use him. We'll see. We'll see how he does on the launch pad. If this even, launches. Hopefully we won't hit, the spacebar too many times. Now we have a, it looks pretty stable too. That's pretty good. It's nighttime right now. I am just going to increase our time warp until we get a daytime launch. Sure how far around we'll need to rotate this. Poor Bill is going to be out there for at least a few more days until we could get this guy into orbit and back on the ground, hopefully with a lot more science. Alright. Faster even. 1,000 times speed. Where is that sun? Or star? There we go. Morning liftoff. Alright. Everything seems good. Just going to get a crew report from here, because we can. It doesn't give us much scientific value. And we can transmit it at 100%. So that communicatron is going. Ooh, and I'm clicking on too many things. And crew report from Launchpad. Alright. Now, bring the throttle up. Not that I really need to. These are all solid fuel boosters. On the bottom, SAS on. we are going to want to go more or less straight up until we're out of the thickest part of the atmosphere. All right. Are you ready, Neilbin? Got your helmet on tight? Good to go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lift off. Everything's looking good. Solid fuel boosters are pushing us straight into the atmosphere. Alright, Neilbin's looking a little bit worried. But as far as I'm concerned, this is good to go. What is that? Is that debris, or is that Bill? Or Bob? It might be Bill, for all I know right now. That looks odd. I haven't seen these down here before, and it's definitely not part of this ship. We may have to investigate these later. I don't think this is a new version, but someone might correct me. Maybe they noticed after that. Alright, we've just passed through the thickest part of the atmosphere. And I am going to want to turn over a little bit to get onto that 45. 45? I just want a little tilt, and my handling of the controls are not so great, but I want to get on this 90 degree at whatever angle this is. It looks like 4.5, 45, 45, that's a 45, this is 90. This is saying 45 as well, but I think that's actually 45 here and here. That's nice. Alright. We are almost through, we're through the second stage of the atmosphere, and we have lots of fuel. Ooh, this one might actually work. I probably can throttle down. Let's take a look at how far up we are. Let's turn the engine off. And there, we can even see Bob. 88, that's pretty good. We are going to wait until we get to that part. I'm going to tip over and just stick it right at the 90. Ooh, too far. Too far, our engines aren't on, that's why. Don't have as much control without our engines on. Stick it right there. And let's just see. Turn off our engines. And we are in space. You hear that music? Let's go back to our ship. Yeah. Neilbin, not so happy about this. But we are at 76 and rising. And getting close to our apoapsis. When we hit that, I'm going to try to do a boost and push our periapsis, which is actually right now inside the planet, but push our periapsis to the far side of Kerman here, and hopefully reach a solid, stable orbit. Autosaving, yes, very good. Very good. Autosave is good. Alright, we're here in 20 seconds. And I'm going to start, let's say at the 15-second mark. And just see, I'm going to stay in this camera view and see what this does for us. Keeping my thumb off the staging. Also, let's keep an eye on our liquid fuel. I think that's the current stage only, but I couldn't tell you. Let's throttle down a bit. Or throttle up. We are getting there. Remember, we have another stage available to us, if this one doesn't take us as far as we need to. Yeah. Oh, and it looks like we have run out of fuel for this stage. We'll ditch that. And light. Woo! Throttle down. There we go. Throttle down a bit on that. Let's see what, whoa, throttle off. Ooh, I wasn't paying attention. So we now have a nice stable holder, 86 by 311. That might have been too much. We only have, really? That chewed up our liquid fuel quite a bit. We're going to accelerate time and get to the far side here. In fact, actually, we'll just go here. Stay in the sun a bit. And go back. Hands off the spacebar, because that's what got us last time. Alright, let's go. And get ourselves a crew report here. We have lots of power. Crew report. It seems we are very much in space right now. The sky seems to be mostly below us. Alright, scientific value 1.9, and we can transmit at 100%. So let's do that. It won't chew through all of our power, but a good chunk of it. Let's turn our SAS off. Let's do another crew report. Same thing, keep that data. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just grabbing a little bit of science for us. And here I am going to observe all our mystery goos. Clumped into sphere. We've had that one before. Mystery goo. Clumped into sphere. Keep that. Mystery goo. Sphere. And mystery goo. I'm going to discard this one. I'm going to save this last one for when we are out here. Maybe that'll be far enough away to be considered to be far out of Kerbin's, far out of the atmosphere. We'll see. And just let these guys spin around. Hello, Bob. Alright, so let's slow down time again. Speed up slightly. And here. Go down to 1. Thank you. And last. Observe this last mystery goo. The goo feels right at home here. Alright. We're going to keep this data. I'm going to send Neilbin on one more loop around the planet at high warp. 1,000. 100. Cannot warp faster than blah 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 while below something rather. Alright, so 50. We've just passed through our first orbit. And one more. There we go. And we will actually try. So if I put on a braking maneuver here, it would bring this apoapsis down. Sadly, I don't expect our fuel to be enough. I'm not a great judge at that, but I don't expect our fuel to be enough to bring this from 300,000 meters all the way back into the atmosphere. Atmosphere is at 70,000 meters. So all we would have to do is drop this periapsis about 10,000 kilometers, and we can do that by applying a brake maneuver when we're at this apoapsis here, which is in another 23 minutes from this point at this speed. So I'm going to speed us back up. And yes, cannot warp faster than 50,000 while below some number, or 50 times while below some number of meters. I understand. Oh, wait, I was below. I wasn't paying enough attention. Alright. So let's start slowing down. Let's see what it looks like to Neilbin. Neilbin, you want to go on a spacewalk? Let's orient our capsule. Whoa, no! Oh, this is not going good for me. Sorry, Neilbin. Stick that. Good. Alright. Neilbin, don't lose your grip. And just, get us an EVA report. EVA report while in space. High over Kerman. You've recorded your observations about the situation. Keep that data. And board. We don't want to lose him in space again. Had a bit of trouble with Bob. Trying to get him back in. I need more practice while on spacewalks. But for now, we will just focus on getting Neilbin back to Kerman. Kerman? He's a Kerman in its Kerbal space program. What's you? What planet are you? Can I focus on that? I can't even target it. I can zoom out. Let's just see. Watch me miss my... Can I select these? That's Moho. That's Eve. That's Kerman. Alright. That's Kerman. Alright. So now we know the name of the planet. Great. Ooh. We are trying to get... here. That's our braking position. You can see by the X in it. And I need to get closer to our orbit again. Just want to do this as close to our apoapsis as we can get, without missing it too terribly. That's going to be the most effective place to do a braking maneuver. We got off this a bit, and we will throttle up just a touch. We're going to do this from here and see how far. We are already into the atmosphere. And that should be good. At this point, we should hit the atmosphere and brake slightly. The air friction should, if I remember my physics, bring our orbit down so we'll get a nice landing. Alright, let's get us into this camera view. This is a view from inside the cockpit. Remember, turn to open. All alone out in space. Alright. We are going to accelerate time and watch. Ooh. We're going to reorient the ship. We are going to reorient the ship. Can I only do that when I'm at one time? Whoa. Yes, I guess that's the only time you can. Rotate. There we go. Alright, let's speed up and get ourselves into the atmosphere. Good luck, Neilbin. We're trying to bring you home. Alive. Alright. 300,000 meters. 200,900. Speed you up a bit. 100 times. And... let's see, it drops us down to 50, and then one time when we enter the atmosphere. Alright, let's keep this oriented nicely. Now I am going to, instead of using a staging system, I'm going to use the rest of this liquid fuel to slow us down a bit once we're actually, we've actually entered the atmosphere. I'll ditch this stage, and then deploy the chute. How's that sound, Neilbin? Liking the idea? No? Oh well, that's what we're gonna what's gonna happen. Warp up. Right. We don't want to, warp too terribly much. If you remember what happened to our good friend Jebediah, it didn't work too well, warping up. His ship came apart, and the parachute ripped off the capsule. We've learned that lesson, not to speed up too fast while in the atmosphere. Sadly, we're not doing a daylight landing, it seems. Alright. Now, what I can do is orient this ship. Let's just see. How's our power? Ooh. Let's just, I don't like that. Let's leave it like that. Our SAS is holding us in position. It is chewing through our resources, but we're getting a nice view. Let's see what it looks like inside the cabin. Ah, yes, fireworks. Fireworks for Neilbin. This is beautiful. Look at that. Re-entry effects. Hopefully all of these goo pods survive. We are at 20,000. SAS. Ooh, turn the SAS off and we turn into a dart. It's not that bad a dart. A little bit of wobbly. Wobbly, wibbly, wobbly, woobly. Timey-wimey. Oh, wait, sorry, that's Doctor Who. Oh, that's interesting. 15,000 meters. 15,000 meters. Bring the nose up. I thought these like flashes at the bottom. Bring the nose up. Up. And throttle up. Just trying to get ourselves pointed straight up. Oh, there that goes. And I am going to use the chute. Bye-bye stage. Oh, now. Oops. Meant to use the chute a little bit later. A little bit later, around 5,000 meters. Slow us down. Looks like we are coming down in the ocean. That should get us a good chunk of science, assume we survive. We're coming down in the ocean. And, it'll be not too long now. We're only at 3,000 meters. Coming down. There's our water. So there's apparently Easter eggs all over the place in Kerbal Space Program. There's a second Kerbal center. 500 meters, our chute deploys. And Neilbin, you look a bit happier. Slightly. Kind of. You're alive at least. Gotta do a crew report? No. Review report. Crew report. We'll keep our current crew report. But, yeah, Neilbin's alive. We landed with 4 canisters, which should get us enough science to do another mission. We've been to orbit. Still don't know how I'm going to rescue Bob. But Neilbin survived. That's good. Yeah. So 80 meters. About to land. See what our science take on this is. Whoo-wee! Let's recover that vessel. Congratulations, Neilbin. You've survived. He looks happy. Alright. Lots of science. 0.7 science for a crew report while in space near Kerman. An EVA report while in space high over Kerman got us 8. Mystery goo while in space near Kerman, 7.9. Near Kerman, 3.5. Goo high over Kerman gave us 10. So getting that goo while we were high over Kerman was pretty good. And again, near Kerman gave us 1.6. So actually waiting to get that 4th goo while we're high over Kerman was a great idea that gave us a lot of science. And the recovery of a vessel returned from Kerman orbit also gave us 10. So we made it out to orbit as opposed to just going not making an orbit, gave us a little bit more science than it would have been if we had recovered the vessel if it didn't make it to orbit. So there we go. Science 54. 41.6 science earned on this mission. That was almost enough to get us one of the second tier stages there. So we go to our research. So we could get some of this engine, some of the survivability, the art and science of landing, and walking away. Sounds very important for Kerbonauts. Landing struts, radio mount parachute, liquid fuel engine. So that liquid fuel engine has a max power of 50, so it's actually pretty light on power. It would be good for landing on probably Moon. Alright, stability. So this will allow us to keep our spacecraft pointed generally in the right direction. Winglets. Nothing is really known about this thing. Use it at your own risk. Found lying at the side of the road. Radial decoupler. This will allow us to mount engines to the side of the ship and decouple them. So if we wanted to have that first stage we had, instead of those 4 decoupling with the center stage, we could just decouple it on the sides. And this aerodynamic nose cone, which I think is new as of 0.22. Goliath National Products. Aerodynamic, lightweight, and mostly non-explosive. That's good to know. I guess it doesn't have... It does something. It has a drag of 1, but if we take a look at the, these have a drag of 3. I'm thinking that if you cap these solid fuel boosters, or any other booster for that matter, with one of these aerodynamic nose cones, it'll fly through the air slightly more effectively. Now, an alternative to these two, survivability, which I do want at some stage in the game, we can get advanced rocketry, which gives us larger fuel tanks. So this comes from Jebediah Kerman's junkyard. Poor Jebediah. And Spaceship Parts Co. It's a stretched variant of the FLT 400. I think the FLT 400 is here. That's right. This is 180 liquid fuel, and this is 360 liquid fuel. So nearly double. Or is that exactly double? I think that's exactly double, at least for the liquid fuel. Oxidizer is also double. So this is double the liquid fuel. So we can bring a lot more fuel with us into space. There's also this thing, which is a radial mount liquid engine. But we'll be looking at that come next time. Alright, thank you very much for watching. This has been Mobius Rex for the Mobius Archives. If you've liked this episode and would like to see more from Kerbal Space Program, leave us a like, leave us some comments on what you would like to see happen. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Mobius Rex. Have a good day and a wonderful night. Bye-bye.